What's going on? Curious young people, I'm sure that if you like curiosities, you must like history. And if you like history, you should be fascinated by historical photos. For this and much more, these are 50 historical photos you have to see. Hitler was among Germany's most notable leaders. In 1931, as the Nazi Party was forming, it competed with the Reichsbanner Republican Party, which also drew large crowds to its events, like the one in photo 2. What might seem to be just a simple group of girls posing for a photo is actually a picture of the well-known Anna Frank, who was with her friends on her 10th birthday in 1939. In the photo, she's the second girl from the left. It's striking that World War II started that same year. 3. The photo shows 2 American military police officers speaking with 2 German boys, ages 10 and 14. They had been detained for shooting at American troops while they were walking through the streets of Achiggranen, Germany, in 1944. 4. The dog is man's best friend, and in times as dark as wartime, they appear on the front lines to help fight and boost the morale of the soldiers. Here, Bad, a United States Army Scout dog assisted during World War II. Nowadays, if someone needs to send us information, they can do it through our email. But it wasn't always like this. For instance, in 1916, this technology didn't exist yet. And that's how a United States postal truck promoted it. In Brooklyn, New York, the famous Coney Island boardwalk once drew crowds to its beaches. The man tattooing is not just an artist. He is George Barchet, known as the king of tattoo artists. This man was expelled from school at 12 for tattooing classmates. After years of work, he became one of the world's best. At the 1980 Olympics in Russia, Polish athlete Władysław Kosakiev made a gesture toward fans after defeating Soviet athlete Volkov. Since throughout the entire event, they had been shouting, whistling, and booing at him. Wars only bring destruction. Here, we encounter a railway plow called Schengenwolf, meaning railway wolf in German, which was used to destroy Soviet train tracks. When the Germans retreated in 1943 to Cologne, seeing photos or videos of World War I, we still can't grasp how people fought in those conditions. This photo is a selfie showing the environment a poor pilot flew in during 1915. 11. After watching so many movies or documentaries, we know that the FBI is one of the most important departments responsible for the security of the United States. And in the photo, we can see a huge warehouse where millions of files were stored during the World War II-12. In a classic New York postcard, the Hindenburg airship floats by the Empire State Building. This photo is one of the last where the airship was captured, since a year later in 1937, it would catch fire. 13. Fortunately, most societies have made great progress toward gender equality. Outrageous incidents like those in this photo no longer occur, such as women in Chicago being arrested for wearing swimsuits that reveal their legs. 14. When war breaks out, most of the countries involved have their armies, but when those aren't enough, we see what are called resistance groups. And in this case, an 18-year-old teenager is part of 15. Queen Elizabeth II is among the last remaining monarchs today. And as we know, being over 90 years old, it's obvious that she went through many things during her life. In this photo, she greets an old soldier as a child in London, 1929. Adolf Hitler was one of the most infamous people in all of history. This photo of him leaning against a car in very strange pants showed him. After leaving prison in 1924, 9 months after wanting to return, he staged a coup against the German government. You're seeing nearly 500,000 people at a 1969 music festival. Known as Woodstock, this great music and art event was a massive festival that attracted thousands and thousands of members of the hippie movement in the United States. 18. Who said that armies were only made up of people? The English bulldog we see in the photo was known as Sergeant Major Giggs, who was part of the United States Air Force during the 1920s. 19. Who? What looks like a simple group of dancers is actually more interesting. The photo was taken with such an old camera that everyone had to stand still for minutes, pretending to dance, so the picture would turn out well. 20? The woman in the photo is Mary Doro, a famous silent film actress from the 1900s. Interestingly, messy and untidy hairstyles were trending back then. 21. The girl in the photo is French and was among others gathered at the gates of the Palace of Versailles to greet the soldiers from the Allied side who had freed them from the Nazis. 22. An officer of the army who supported the British government stands in front of a poor prisoner who was being brutally interrogated. Scenes like this unfolded during the Rhodesian Civil War in the 1970s. 23. This impressive ship, resembling one from Pirates of the Caribbean, was the last commercial sailing vessel to cross the oceans. Known as Pamir, it made its last voyages during 1949 to the 24. Modern cars can't do stunts because they have high safety measures. But before, when there wasn't so much technology, if you had a powerful car and all the passengers leaned on the back, you would get the first wheelie of a car photographed in history. 25. During World War II, the different sides tried to recruit as many soldiers as possible for their battle lines. The photo shows Muslim soldiers from Bosnia brought to fight for the Nazis, stopping. 26. Each Christmas in New York, a large tree is placed at Rockefeller Center's entrance. In the photo, we see the first Christmas tree of the iconic building set up when construction had just started. In 1930, 27, the samurai were some of the most legendary soldiers in Japan, and although there are very few photos, due to the time period in which they existed. In 1930, Japan hosted an event that recreated scenes with these historic soldiers. They show us what they look like. 28. Are wars the most tragic events someone can experience? In this photo, Warren Bernard runs to his father, Jack Bernard, as he marches with thousands of Canadian soldiers to go fight on the fronts of World War II 29. On April 18, 1923, the New York Yankees Stadium opened. This is how it looked from outside. It's interesting how most cars looked alike, and the area around the stadium was desolate with no skyscrapers. 30. When World War II was coming to an end in Europe, the Allied forces would destroy everything in their path. This photo shows a group of American soldiers mocking Hitler after capturing Berlin's Reich Chancellery 31. What might look like an old photo of a possible science fiction future is actually a flight information counter at John F. Kennedy Airport in New York in the 1960s. 32. Most World War I battlefront deaths were caused by infections and disease from poor hygiene rather than weapons. This photo shows the result of only 15 minutes of rat hunting in the French trenches. 33. Alabama was among the most racially segregated states in the United States. In this 1956 photo, black siblings look through a wire fence at a playground reserved for white children. Whites 34. Ever wondered how they pick animals for movies or television shows? Well, here's the answer. In this photo, we see a line of people who had gone to an audition in Los Angeles in 1936 for the selection of a black cat. 35. At one point, the car brand Fiat was one of the most important brands and had the largest factory in the world, which even had a track on the rooftop to test the newly finished cars. 36. During the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union got into an endless race to outdo each other in terms of weaponry. And in the photo, we see the result of one of the thousands of underwater nuclear tests, which left this incredible image. 37. George Orwell was a key political writer from Great Britain. The photo shown is his passport photo taken when he was a colonial police officer in Myanmar in the 1920s. 38. The atomic bombs used at the end of World War II were developed in the ultra-secret Manhattan Project. It was so secret that signs were posted around the laboratories where the work took place, hoping those involved wouldn't share any information. 39. Grand Central Station in New York is one of the most important stations in the United States railway system. The photo shows how it was covered in war bond propaganda during the World War II 1940. This unusual photo became historic as the first image uploaded to the internet. The women were in the music group Les Horribles Carnets, and the photo was uploaded July 18, 1992. 41. Cats don't seem to have any trouble walking on rooftops and other high places. And in this case, we have George, a white cat, who lived at the top of one of the supports of the Sydney Harbor Bridge. In 1957, 42. Like something from a horror movie? This is what two German soldiers look like together with a donkey wearing their gas masks right in the middle of World War I. This photo, which might look like a detailed work of art, is actually a photograph of the incredible picturesque commune of Liederbrunnen in the Swiss Alps in 1951. Queen Elizabeth II experienced many life stages, and this photo shows her at 18. She was part of the British Army's mechanical team during World War II. This shocking photo shows an SS soldier from Nazi Germany about to execute the last prisoner at a Venezia concentration camp in Ukraine in 1941. This photo shows how much aircraft carriers have evolved over the years. This is what the United States ship Langley looked like in 1927, the first aircraft carrier of the United States Navy. The person we see in the photo with that distinctive hat is Tsar Nikolai II, who became the last Tsar of Russia after ruling for more than 15 years and was eventually assassinated in 1918. 48. The Great Depression was among the darkest periods for the global economy. This photo highlights irony by showing a line of people waiting for food and supplies, while the sign behind them advertises the great life of the American citizen. Although it may look staged, this photo is real. Florence Norman, a British woman, received an electric scooter for her birthday in 1916, something that was very advanced for its time and was usually used by the mail carriers of the post office. This unhappy boy is suffering from the neck brush, a failed 1950s invention meant to clean children's necks as they played. Before I go, let me greet the subscribers. A big greeting to Marco Antonio and another to Lalo Landia. I also send a big greeting to Getix08, then a greeting to Manuel Sequeira, and finally a greeting to Diego Gainercat. Another greeting to Mateen Cardoso Llanos, a big greeting to 0K. And the last greeting goes to the awesome Uvides Alcides Matut. Go ahead and like, comment anything, and don't forget to share the channel and video with friends. So let's not leave it without that curious interest. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss any new videos. You know, Krusty,